If we're asked to sketch a graph by finding 3 points, you can do this with any function. Anytime you need to find a graph, you can make an x and y table, plug in a number for x, and see what it spits out for y. In this case, f of x. If you plug in 0 in here, anything to the 0 power is 1. So there's a dot on our graph at 0, 1. So let's try out another number. Let's try plugging in a 1. And if you plug in a 1 into that function, you get out a 3. And sometimes it's good to check negative numbers. If you plug in a -1, 3 to the negative first means 1 over 3. So we got 1/3 for a point here. And that one might be hard to graph if you're just trying to graph it with integers. So let's get another one that'll give us an integer. If you plug in a 2 into our function, 3 squared gives you 9. So we know what's going to happen at -1. It's just going to get small. It's going to be 1/3, so somewhere way down here. 1, 3, 2, 9. Those are the easiest dots. Here's 1, 3. Let's make it bigger. 1, 3 is right there. And then 2, 9 is going to be way up here somewhere. And we saw that -1 gave us 1/3, so we know that was pretty low. So this is a rough sketch of our graph, something like that. So let's answer the other part of the question. They asked us to find its domain and range and state whether it's increasing or decreasing. Let's do the increasing or decreasing first. You read a graph like you read a book, left to right. So looking at it left to right, we say this is an increasing graph. And for the domain and range, the domain represents all the x values you can plug into the function. I lost my f there, f of x. So is there a problem with plugging in any number for x? We saw negative numbers work, positive numbers work, 0 works. All numbers for x work. So we say the domain is negative infinity. Oh, that's terrible, infinity. Get out. That's better. Negative infinity to positive infinity, not by much. There we go. That's the domain, all numbers. The range, though, use your graph to find the range. The y values tell you your range. We have a y value at at 1/3, at 1/5, 1/8, as small as you can get, but it never touches 0. There's no way to get a 0 in this function for y. You can't raise 3 to a power to make it be 0. So the lowest value we can have is 0. The highest value we can have is positive infinity for y values. So that's our range.